The farm is one of the worst towers in the game. It does no damage, it provides you no benefits to your towers at all. It is absolutely useless in every situation and every scenario you can think of, even in Molten mode. So then why is every single player in TDS using it in their loadouts? Well, one thing. They need money. Since you need it to buy a house, eat, drink, live, and buying towers in TDS. Accelerators, engineers, rangers, turrets, they all are very similar in a way that they are all very expensive. Whether it be their level 3 upgrades or their max upgrades, you wouldn't be able to normally get those upgrades easily if you had not used the farm. The farm is an enabler in every loadout known in this game. Scratch the cowboy. It gives the player that plays the farms a set amount of money every single wave. The more it is upgraded, the more it gives. Pretty simple, right? Well, it would be if they hadn't added a crud load of zombies and towers into the game. Firstly, about the zombies. As the waves progress in TDS, the zombies becomes visibly stronger and tankier, some even having abilities in these special game modes. Without the farm, the player would normally be unable to buy towers to defend against these zombies, resulting in them losing. However, the farm can prevent that. If they know how to fully utilize the farm's kit, they'll be able to gain insane profits, providing them the sufficient funds to buy the towers, upgrading them, and eventually winning the game. But let's overlook that for just a second and talk about the towers, since it really depends on the situation. If you are using an expensive tower like the ranger or the accelerator, truth be told, you would most definitely need the farm in your loadout. However, if you are using some cheap towers like the militant or the commander, then you wouldn't really need the farm all that much, as their costs aren't even 1/3 compared to these towers. Of course, farming will still make it undoubtedly easier to get the max in the early waves, but you are sacrificing a really good tower slot to quickly level up your towers, which could lead to the entire game being lost due to that. And so let's just move on to the other thing about the farm. Players use a basic method on how they use their farms normally. In my personal method, I would place a farm and level it up to level 1, and then repeat it until I place 8 level 1 farms. After that, I would level them up one by one to level 3 and repeat the process for the max level. This would be the most brain dead and easiest way for me to farm efficiently, whilst I can focus on how to defend against the oncoming zombies. But this is my farm method, so you could have your own as well. Oh, and how could I forget? The price. The farm is an unlockable tower which costs 2,000 coins. For Molten Triumphs, if you want to use American terms. In game, the tower costs $250, which is of course really cheap. You only gain $50 per wave, but you'd most likely upgrade it to level 1 anyways. As I mentioned in the intro, the farm deals absolutely no damage and gives no buffs, unlike the other support towers like the commander, medic, and the DJ. The farm is an incredibly special tower that will only give you money each wave and nothing else. And so you might be wondering, how much money does the farm even give anyways? Well, it of course depends on the level. As the farm levels up, the money gained from each wave increases. It's really simple, but it can really affect how you play the game as well, since you might lose money in some cases, but after the waves progress through a little more, you'll eventually gain your money back and basically get a lot of free money each wave. And big shock factor, the max farm gives you $1,500 per wave. Since after 4 waves, you just get an extra $1,500 for each wave from one singular tower. This is incredibly beneficial to your loadout and how you'd play the match as well. Since with that amount of money, you can easily max all your towers in a few waves or so, and then just watch as you completely spawn kill the zombies. Especially for the towers like the engineer, accelerator, and the ranger, which is getting a new buff, or so I'm told. These incredible damage dealers will completely obliterate these zombies extremely easily as you place one after another with the cash given from the farm. Of course, this is only after you max your farms, since the process of maxing all 8 farms is kind of stressful, because if you don't know, upgrading your towers costs money, and towers that deals damage needs money to be upgraded to deal more damage. And as the waves progress, the zombies proceedingly get stronger, faster, and more troublesome. Meeting the farm will really test how you manage your cash management and make you feel like you are managing 3 jobs at once, since you would need to know what type of zombies spawn in what waves, what towers that can eliminate annoying zombies, which is all game knowledge you would need to acquire whilst playing the game. Also, some zombies like the breakers will need your full attention as they are really irritating to deal with, so you would have to upgrade your towers, delay your chance to upgrade your farms to the max level. But of course, once you're done with that, you can cause mayhem, so it's no biggie. The farm is also basically a necessity for these special game modes too, as each and every single zombie, especially for Polluted Wasteland, cannot be taken for granted. If you don't know anything about these special game modes in TDS, well, each game mode or map contains several buffs to the zombies, one of which gives these zombies an increase in HP every single wave, similar to how the farm gives you money each wave. So with that being said, you would most definitely need good towers like the ranger or the accelerator to help you defeat these zombies, and so consequently, the farm is 100% needed in those loadouts as they cost a lot. So if you know what you are doing, the farm will give you the money you need to place those towers down and eventually beating the final wave. Of course, with the wrong hands, the farm is an absolute unit of trash and garbage. If you give a new player the farm, they just max their farms before actually maxing their towers, since it gives a cool sound effect each wave, which is probably enough to trigger the dopamine factors in their brains. This tower can be the absolute reason why you lost to that event game mode due to one person being an absolute greedy pig and farming without properly helping the team whatsoever. Oh, and I forgot to mention about the cowboy, but this video is about the farm, not the cowboy, so I'll just ignore it again. Finally, to wrap it up, the farm is a tower that is really, and I mean really good if it's used by the correct person, enabling you to easily max towers that would previously not be possible without it. Accelerators, engineers, and rangers being the prime example. Of course, if it's used by the wrong person, not using it correctly and being an absolute capitalistic pig, you will either lose to it, or after they max all their farms, out of nowhere, they'll pull out 5 max accelerators within 4 waves. Or so, I don't know. The methods to use the farm is really vague and opinionated among TDS players, so farm as you wish. However, just know that you still need to defend against these zombies, as if the zombies leak through your defenses, you will lose the game. Nonetheless, I am Utsi and I'll be hibernating once again. Bye bye.